Hi, Kim
Hi.
Judy. Hi. How far did you get in strong yesterday?
How I do? Or how far did I get? I bet I was probably almost three.
Okay. Almost 3 rounds out of the.
Three
We did
rounds.
3 rounds, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you almost got through it all. How'd you feel? How do you feel now?
You know what? It didn't hurt me or bother me a bit, actually. I felt
Mm.
good. I'm having some hip bursitis on the leg that has not been, the knee that has not been replaced, the other side. And I tell you what, that's bothering me more than anything.
Mm. What's it feel like?
It's painful.
Like sharp and shooting?
It, Yeah, it can be sharp and shooting, or it can be dull and achy. It can be.
So it's just like arthritis then?
No, it's not. So, I know all the joints have a bursa around
Uh
them.
huh.
And so that bursa can get inflamed. It's not the actual joint, it's the bursa on the outside, which is probably inflamed because of my knee.
Right.
You know,
So can that
it's all
inflammation go
connected.
down? You know how like once you have arthritis in the joint, you can't get rid of the arthritis. Is bursitis the same way? Once you have bursitis, you have to kind
No,
of
you
live
can
with
get
it.
rid of bursitis.
You can get rid of it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna research. I didn't have bursitis. Out of all the problems I've ever had, and knock on wood, I don't. I've never had bursitis, so I can't really speak to it. You can know it
Right.
by reading a book, but until you know it, it's
Yeah.
hard.
No,
But
no.
I'll read the book and get some information on it.
Can
Um,
come and go, most definitely. And it's usually because you get it because
compensation patterns.
your gait's not normal, and so it throws that off. And
So who was I working with or who was I talking to about this? It's so funny because I'm doing a hip mobility class because right now all these people on social media are like, "Do you have a workout for hip mobility?" And I don't like to use the word hate, but I hate when people ask me that because it's not just one workout. There's no way that I hate the industry that has made people believe that one workout is what they should do. And this one woman on Facebook even got upset at me and was thinking I was trying to sell her a program instead of just giving her one workout. And I was like, um, not everyone's meant to be together. I don't think you and I are meant to be together. See you later. But her being upset about it inspired my new hip mobility program, right? And because I was like, I got to have a program out there. So, with that said, I was working. Oh, it was with Kathy yesterday, Leah's mom. That's what it was. She came to me. She has arthritis in her hips, and the weather was really cold. And she was like, my hips, they're so achy. So, we worked on her back V muscles, we worked on her feet. To me, and what I told her is that where it is, like, okay, we have pain in the hips, but if your back is not supporting your posture, your hips are working harder than they need to be. Your knee is not supporting your gait. Your hips are working in a level that they don't need to be. And so that inflammation of the bursitis is an overworking area. So to me, I wouldn't do stuff with your hips. I would do posture training, foot therapy, and I would be more focused on how I walk every single day.
yeah, I
Right?
agree 100%.
Yeah.
It's all connected. Yeah,
Well,
I
it's
agree
all
100%.
connected, but it's also we got to start focusing on what's above it and what's below it.
Mhm.
That's what I think. And then, of course, I taught her these hip circles, and I'm doing a lot of hip circles too because I'm training for this triathlon, so my body is taking on some extra oomph, right? And so my hips, I want to make sure my hips, I don't do anything bad to my hips. And this one had started aching, and I was like, what's going on? And I'm telling you, that's where this kind of stuff is coming from because
Okay.
I'm just giving that inner hip area a massage through movement. I'm activating the abdominals, right? It's a support system. When these are doing their job, the hips don't have to do so much work. When the V muscles are doing their job, the hips don't have to do so much work. When the feet are spring-like and healthy, the hips don't have to do so much work. So that's the approach we're going to take.
What do you think about like the rollers, where you roll over that area that's inflamed or
I
tight?
don't think you should be rolling on an inflamed area at all. I don't think you should be like on one of those things. I do love the lacrosse ball. Heidi would probably remember when I used to do lacrosse ball movement therapy, and I'm not saying I won't bring it back. The only thing is one, it's kind of like my idea of a tight muscle. Everyone wants to stretch a tight muscle, but a tight muscle is angry. The muscle is tight because it's angry. It's been pulled and tugged on in ways that it didn't want to be pulled and tugged on, and now it's ticked off, right? And the last thing you want to do is force it to stretch just because that's what the industry says to do, stretch and get flexible. To me, we want to soothe an angry muscle, and the way to do that is not by digging into it or trying to stretch it. It's moving around it and etching and like soothing it through movement, right? Getting blood flow in that area, increasing the lymphatic health of the entire system. That's what I think. I would not touch an inflamed area, and I would not stretch a tight muscle.
Okay, well, maybe I'm doing those hip things wrong, because it seems to me when I do what you're asking, it's all in the feet.
Oh, goodness, great. I love that, because that's where it does start, because it's the shifting of the energy in the feet, right? But that from there, then your hips should be able to rotate, but the movement of the rotation happens definitely in the feet, which I think is great. And remember, everything takes time. A new movement takes time, right? The other thing is, people not being able to move their pelvis in general, like, so this might be something you need to think about for your bursitis. See my lateral lifts, like, and then lower it down. My heel's even lifting. So lateral lift, see my heel? My heel's up. See how my hips like out? This is stretching, okay? But it's active. It's stretching because of an action that we're doing. And then I lower the heel and I take the hip back into position. And then it's almost like I'm starting to lift this hip energetically, but I lift the heel, the leg is straight. I don't let the hip twist out. This area is stretching, and then I come down. And then it's up, 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 up. And I feel a little tug in my lower back. So now I'm kind of getting up into my posture. And I'm lengthening in this area. Good, actually. That feels good? Yeah. Yeah. So these are the kind of things, but do you see what I'm saying? Your feet have to move. So yeah, you in those circles, I'm glad that you're feeling it in your feet first. Most people are going to just make the circles and forget that it's really happening from the feet. It's so subtle. It's happening because of the shift of energy in the feet. You're just shifting your energy in your feet. And then the subtleness here can lead to bigger circles in the hips.
I wasn't following through. I was just keeping it all in my feet.
Yeah, it takes time. Also, one more thing that I want to add to this conversation before we start. Keeping the inner knees lifted. Like if I feel something in my knee, I don't stop the circles. I remind myself, I have to engage this area of my body. There's got to be a lifting, and watch when I lift this energetically, how this squeezes in, right? And so now I'm keeping the knees rigid, and it's all in my feet, but I'm really massaging my hips.
I was totally not doing that.
Yeah, but can you feel it now? Now that we've broken it down a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
I was totally not doing that. It was all just feet, like the rest of me was just rigid.
But look at that. That's awesome. Even there's a part of that that's good too. Because could you feel your abs? Could you feel your abs grabbing? Yeah. So there's goodness in that. Because remember, to work your bursitis, we also need your supporting muscles to do what they needed to be doing. Okay.